Alright. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 any percent. This run has kind of a short history. A quick preface, this fight is kind of a really boring start. Kind of have to just spam Kamehamehas. So started this run a few years ago, just me and one other guy, and we originally run what is now called the All Stories category, where you just 100% story mode, do every single fight. And it wasn't until, I don't know, 2 years ago that this category came into being, which is to only clear the sagas necessary for reaching the credits, of course. The way story progression works in this game a lot, you see the prompt at the bottom where it tells me to press the right analog stick. Doing so will move the story forward in accordance with, you know, how the actual story plays out, which in this case would be to switch to Piccolo. However, in a speedrun, a lot of those switches aren't optimal. You can heal the opponent by doing so. The character you switch to might not be as good. You might have to go through extra cutscenes for doing so. So there's a lot of fights where you just don't really do any of the story prompts and you just kind of do things not the way that they happen in the series to kind of skip through it. And you'll see that happen with probably, I don't know, 70–80% of the fights. There's very little that you actually go all the way to the end for. And it's kind of unfortunate. The first few fights in this run are very centered around spamming supers. This is a very common reset point because the AI in this game is incredibly fickle. Sometimes they just want to like run away and dodge everything, waste time, or just get in your face and not let you charge your super at all. Just kind of be generally obnoxious. Later on, there's most fights you can do by fighting normally. It's just mostly these first few, and then a few later on, where the plot kind of dictates that you're waiting for a power-up or you're waiting for a super strong character or something. But on a lot of those, you can get around it. Like right there, there's not really any telling on whether or not the AI will teleport or not.
You fool! Don't take your eyes off your opponent!
There's a couple different ways to go about this fight. I believe the fastest is to just kill Nappa with Chaozu. But that's one of those things that you would kind of reset on if you're going for an optimal run. I believe the safest way is to just kind of do as much as you can with Tien and Chaozu. Once you get to Gohan, he is a bit more durable. It's a much safer way to end the fight.
You monster! If you can take me, you'll pay for this!
The goal here to switch to Gohan is that Tien has to die, so the fastest way to do that really is to use his ultimate, since he drains his own health to do it, and then kind of just let Nappa finish you off. Hope that his AI cooperates and does it nice and quick. And then we'll finish off the fight with Gohan.
Got Saiyan blood in you, huh? You'll be able to amuse me for a while.
once we get past this fight and you go on to Goku versus Vegeta, there's a long stretch of just actual fights, and you don't have to deal with these stacked odds anymore. One more will do it, and then we're out of this nightmare. Something go wrong with the stream or what?
Let me show you the power that no amount of hard work can overcome. What's wrong, Kakarot? You can do better than that. You look better when you beat Nappa. That smoke of yours is going to disappear very soon.
Easy, Tomo. If I don't finish this quickly, I really will be in bad shape.
If that's really your best, then I'm more than disappointed.
Even though things look really bad, I'm still having the time of my life.
Alright, that's that for the Saiyan Saga. Very straightforward fight. That first prompt you can actually do. It initiates the beam struggle between Goku and Vegeta, which I used to use as a finisher. I would kind of just do a Kamehameha and then do the story prompt immediately to do another one. But if you set it up right, it's faster to just try and deplete his last bar by yourself, rather than watch the beam struggle animation. I kind of just opt for that now. Also, if you do not kill him with the beam struggle, it automatically transitions into Giant 8 Vegeta, which is a no-no. This is a really simple fight right here. You just kind of beat these guys really bad, and then you actually pretty much skip the last fight altogether, just by preparation in the first two. Preparation being to charge a Spirit Bomb. You can get 2 charges off before you get to the last fight, usually. And then, when the last guy comes in, you just throw a Spirit Bomb and he dies immediately.
We're the Ginyu fools! We'll make sure you don't forget that name! Here we go! So you aren't leaving then? I've never seen Goku like this before!
One minor thing is you kind of want to avoid being in the water if you're trying to use supers, because your energy actually charges at half speed in the water. And instead of opting for a Kamehameha, I want to save my Kai so I can get into max power immediately and be ready to use Spirit Bomb. Yeah, there are Dragon Balls in this game. By destroying pieces of the environment in the story mode, just while you're fighting, you just break stuff, and you have a chance to get a Dragon Ball. And there's several different dragons you can summon, which have different like levels of rewards. It's how you unlock like a lot of the later world tournaments and characters and just like end game content, I guess. This is probably the first really scary fight in the run, I would say. I've definitely lost some runs before where Vegeta just flat out killed me when I was still learning this game. Because the whole point is that you're supposed to be encouraged to transform. So Vegeta actually has like a big statistical advantage on you here. But shouldn't be a problem.
Because I have become the thing that you fear the most. A Super Saiyan.
That's a bold claim, and a foolish one. A Super Saiyan.
What are you looking at?
Whatever's the matter is that we're gone.
Well, that was nice. He did a counter there and then missed, so I could just kind of resume what I was doing.
Not bad, but
As long as you just like stop Vegeta from having any time to charge a super or anything, you shouldn't have to worry about him doing a whole lot of damage. Obviously he does more than me per hit, but as long as he doesn't get off a super, because his supers also have boosted damage, which is really stressful. That was a little shaky. If he had gotten a super off, I might have died, but we avoided it. There's definitely one of the reasons that this game is really stressful to run is there's a lot of fights like that where the enemy can kill you. There's a few like back-to-back later on that I'll point out that are just really, really bad. On top of that, the AI just being so volatile means that your times can be incredibly variable. Like, when you're running, you can get a really good split on a fight, and then just get a really terrible split right after. And then it just makes it really hard to get consistent times in this game.
let a single one of these Saiyans know how foolish. You could have just cowered overboard.
This fight plays out very similarly to the last Goku fight, where you just kind of like go through the motions and then try to build up to a Spirit Bomb at the end. Although Frieza is a lot more powerful than the Ginyu Force, so it can go wrong. So, actually forgot to explain this a little bit earlier. The way combos work in this game, basically, is that you have kind of a light and a heavy attack. And the heavy attack is just like you push it during your regular weak combo, and depending on which hit of your weak combo you're in, you do a different heavy attack. So you'll see me opt for usually like the rapid kicks heavy, or it's usually that one first, and then to build up the hit counter, and then on the second string I'll do the stun punch to just leave them totally immobile for a second, and then do whatever I like.
Share your energy with me.
How shall I dish you up?
Also, getting Spirit Bomb charges on Frieza is a lot more annoying than it is with the Ginyu Force. He's a lot more powerful. He does not really want you to get charges. The fact that he used full power is actually incredibly dangerous right now. Hopefully he doesn't dash back at me.
Energy with me.
But if I can get a Spirit Bomb off now, then we're good.
I think I'll put
You're not
an end
getting
to
away
all
with
this
that.
warming up and finally get serious.
Here it comes.
Hopefully this hits, and yep, we're good. That was a little shaky again. But the next fight's really easy. The fight after that's really easy. We're gonna have a string of, I'd say like 3 or 4 easy fights, and then one really stressful fight that used to be a big run ender for me, and then back to a few easy fights for a while. So this is kind of just like towards the middle of the game where you kind of coast. You just kind of go from fight to fight and do your thing.
So many innocent people already. Krillin!
You see me opt for hard knockdowns a lot because it's really easy. The AI has limited options, or really just players in general, but the AI is more susceptible to it. When you knock them down, it's really easy to just cover get-up options where they don't... There's not a lot they can do without like perfect Z countering. And also the more hits you do in your combo, it starts to have like a damage fallout, like most fighting games. So what you want to do is like constantly do knockdowns to reset the hit counter so that your hits do full damage.
Can this be? I'm the strongest in the universe! Don't move!
You asked for.
Where do you think you're going? Survive in the emptiness of space. Death is all that awaits you.
Oh, hopefully this doesn't hit the floor.
One in battle will die.
Ah, that's a bummer. That just means I'll end the fight the normal way. You can just get him to 2 bars and then do enough damage to kill him with an attack or whatever, or you can do the story prompt. This is a little bit slower because you have to do the beam struggle, but it's not that big of a deal. In regards to the history of this run, like times and stuff, I've more or less kind of just held world record ever since it started over the last 3 years. Every time somebody would pass me, they would pass me by like a slight amount, and then I would just come back and bump it up a few more minutes or so. But recently, actually a couple weeks ago, like right when I got invited to this marathon, a Japanese runner named Baltan actually beat my time by several minutes, which was really surprising, and it was a really good run. So, definitely gonna learn, like I've been studying his run, seeing if there's little things he does that I can optimize. But it's good motivation, because I usually only play this game like once, like a couple times a year or something, because there's not a whole lot of reason to when nobody else is challenging record.
Has he had that much energy taken from him?
No, that android hasn't laid so much as a finger on me.
The goal here is for Goku to die, which is entirely up to Android 19 whether or not he wants to hit you. It's kind of annoying.
If anyone beats Kakarot, it'll be me. I won't allow you to deny me that satisfaction. This...
It's kind of a weird trigger for the Super Saiyan transformation. Sometimes you can get off a clean combo, stun him, whatever, and then do a beam before the transformation, but sometimes he just does it immediately.
Put myself through intense training, day after day, until I realized my limits. Then came Fury, and I awakened, transformed into a Super Saiyan. That's quite enough nonsense.
You can also kind of do this fast enough to avoid Big Bang Attack, as you can see. Like I could do Big Bang Attack right now, but I'm just gonna do a super instead. It's a slightly quicker finish. Yeah, there is a lot of old videos of back when the online for this game was active on Wii, before they shut down the servers for the Wii entirely. There's a lot of online play. I also just used to watch just people who would make combo videos and stuff. The biggest optimization to be had for this game is definitely somebody who could just like perfect Z counter. If you watch a lot of the top players on YouTube, they can perfect Z counter anything. Like even if you're getting hit from behind, if you do the input at the perfect time, you just block and counter. It's kind of broken. Thus far, nobody who runs this game has played at that level. So even though world record right now is like 1 hour and 5 minutes, I'm convinced that it could go to under an hour if somebody that good just could do it. Just took an interest in the run.
You won't reach your perfect form.
For this story prompt, there's an option to switch to Vegeta specifically to fight Trunks. It's not, I don't really know if it's faster or slower. Like Vegeta's a bit stronger than Cell. There's like a little bit of cutscene and talking and switching animation. So it's just kind of like, I guess it's just if you wanted to play as Vegeta, you can. I don't think it really saves or loses time. But Cell gets the job done just fine, even though Trunks is supposed to be way stronger than him. For whatever reason, it just, you know, doesn't really matter in this fight like it does in a lot.
Not too shabby.
We'll settle this here.
Trunks is kind of putting up a good fight, though. Optimally, this would have been done, I don't know, about 30 seconds ago. But take what I can get in a marathon. At least he's not beating the brakes off me.
It's been a while, hasn't it, BG?
I don't get healed, unfortunately, before 18, but it's never really a problem. She's not exactly strong or anything. You also don't have to completely finish her, you just have to rough her up a bit first. Should be enough. Krillin steals her health bar. No big deal. You just kinda... Well, that's very uncommon. Whatever. It's just a bummer that he happened to be perfectly aligned between me and a wall. If he was even at an angle, then all of those would have connected, but if you hit a beam on somebody when they're directly like aligned with you in a wall, then they'll just bounce off the wall and only take the first hit. But that's only a couple seconds off. Every character has like a base Kai level that they regenerate to if they're below it as well, and Barrage Death Beam only costs 2 bars, so Cell will just naturally regenerate to it over time. You never really have to charge up for that.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, it's the other world!
Vegeta just kind of goes down like a chump. There's actually something, I don't know why it confused me for so long, but if you activate that story prompt, nothing really happens, but then Vegeta will automatically use Final Flash when his health gets low. And I was mystified for a long time for some reason about how you could sometimes skip Final Flash and then you couldn't, and then I realized that you just don't do that story trigger, and it works out. This one's automatic, but it's no big deal. With the Final Flash one, Vegeta gets fully healed, which is why it wastes so much time. Trunks isn't much better than Vegeta, even with his power up.
This is it.
That's the best advantage of a stun punch. Some beams will do like a freeze frame where you just hit a button to boost it, whereas others actually charge in real time, like that Kamehameha, and you have to hold down the button to charge it. So that's the greatest application of a stun punch, is that on a character that has those real-time charging beams, you stun them and you have time to charge up, and those beams do way more damage than the freeze frame ones. This fight used to be a big run killer for me too. It's not that bad for me anymore. If for some reason Goku were going to die, then I have a backup for this, because the game will automatically switch to Gohan and then you finish with Gohan. But, wastes a lot of time. The big issue is because Cell has super armor against a lot of Goku's attacks, only heavy attacks stun him. And so when you're doing your weak combo to build up to a heavy attack, he can just decide to hit you out of it. And then he can just kind of do to you what I do to him. Goku still does a lot of damage, he just doesn't penetrate super armor. And then this story prompt actually puts him into max power, which makes him hit through the super armor. So this is like a good story prompt to hit after you land a super.
Very quickly. Unless our levels are at least close to each other, the fight is no fun. Yeah, I think so too.
That was pretty good. Gets kind of stressful sometimes if Cell gets off a super or anything, but he was very cooperative there. You'll see, I think the biggest time that you'll probably see it would be Super 17. That is the worst run in the fight by far. He just never cooperates. He always wants to hit you out of your combos. It's impossible to get stuff started on him. And he does so much damage, and he regenerates Kai automatically. So that fight, if there's anywhere that I'm gonna die in this run, it'll definitely be Super 17. Also, if you thought Cell was doing a lot of damage before, this is probably the highest amount of damage you'll see in this run from individual hits.
That's Gohan? No way.
That's what you get, Cell. Blew it. Incredible. What happened to it? Maybe what Goku was talking about? So, Cell's finally going to fight at full power, huh? It's like the whole earth is shaking! What amazing power! I like that. This is me when I'm serious.
So?
Cell's just kind of getting thrown around and talking smack while he does it. Any fight where Krillin is just like there as part of the plot for some reason, when you're beating up the enemy, he will claim that he did it. Like, when you play as Cell earlier, if any of the enemies get a hit on you, Krillin will claim that he did it. This game also has some really cheesy lines, even by DBZ standards. Like, they just come up with the most ridiculous, like, one-liners and stuff. I wish I didn't have to skip every cutscene. But, we'll see if we can point out some good ones. This is another, like, super armor fight, because Gohan's supposed to be wounded, but, you have enough health that it's not a problem, and you eventually become strong enough to fight normally. And the super armor is really not a problem when you do heavy attacks out of dashes, like this.
Any more central beams?
We've used them all up.
This is what I'm talking about, where while you're trying to hit, Cell just kind of says no. He could theoretically just do that forever if he really wanted to.
Where are you?
Otherworld. I'm SpeedyFists with the help of Tenkaichi. Go on! Hit him with the best Kamehameha you've got! You can win. I know you can.
Won't you get away with this?
Do your best.
This is the point where the fight becomes ridiculously easy because you're playing as one of the best characters in the game, and you can actually hurt him now. So you just kind of thrash him until the fight's over. Any danger is now gone.
You had yourself a good time there on Earth, too. Got it?
Insolence.
All right, do it! Get him!
I'll do the story prompt for posterity. If I was in a little bit better position of damage, I would just do something, a different strat. But we'll do this just because. That number underneath your character's icon is called like your stock gauge, and it's used for a separate set of skills called personal skills. It just fills up over time, and one of Gohan's is called Unforgivable, which puts him into max power and raises all of his stats, and it costs 3 bars. So if you have him a little bit lower there, then you can just use Unforgivable, get a stat boost, and then kill him with a Kamehameha, and you don't have to watch the animation. Saves a little bit of time.
So, in your perfect form, it's true that I wouldn't stand a chance against you. But as you are now, I'm more than strong enough to defeat you.
So, you've been to the past, haven't you? That's why you're so well informed. I'll give you that.
This is one of the few fights where you will absolutely go all the way to the end of the story prompts just because it's the fastest way. Trunks isn't particularly handicapped in this fight, he just doesn't do a lot of damage. Even after you transform, like, he does a pretty okay amount of damage. And the prompt just comes up faster than you'll ever have to worry about, and it's a very quick animation for the kill, so it's probably the only instance I can think of too where it's like a fight that you aren't really handicapped, that you just do it. All the other fights where you do all the story prompts is basically because you have to. This one right here. This animation's very quick, gets the job done, and you're unlikely to do 2 bars worth of damage in less time than this. There's no beam struggle or anything. This is actually my favorite DBZ moment. I think this is without a doubt the best choreographed fight in the series. It's slightly underwhelming in this game, I guess, which is kind of a bummer, but it's also incredibly straightforward. There's only one little caveat that is actually a really big caveat, but it's really easy to avoid it. Basically, for some reason, like, this doesn't happen in DBZ. It's just one of those weird what-if moments they throw in. If you kill Vegeta without doing any story prompts, Deborah just shows up to fight you, and then you have to, you know, do an entire extra fight for some reason. But if you just do the first story prompt, all it is a cutscene, and then Vegeta gets 1 bar of health back, and then the fight ends when you kill him. So you basically just get Vegeta to barely any health, wait for the story prompt, and then just hit him with a super or something. Goku, in one of the rare moments in the story here, you play as a character that's dead, so you have the Halo item equipped, which makes all energy costs halved. So you can just kind of spam beams to your heart's content. This is another really straightforward fight. This is probably the best example of why you would avoid story prompts in a speedrun. All of these do literally nothing except heal Majin Buu to full health until Vegeta kills himself and ends the fight. There is no upside to doing any of them, aside from more dialogue, I guess, if you're playing for the actual story mode. Also, Vegeta is, just in his many incarnations, is probably one of, if not my favorite character to play in this game, because he just has this raw speed that no other character seems to really employ, while also still being really strong, compared to characters like Birder, who are just fast, but that's it. He has very quick, he has very short links into his stun punch. He has very cheap and fast supers, very fast attack animations. He's just really a speedrunner's dream. This is another weird fight. This is probably the saddest example of skipping the story. You will not be seeing Vegito at all. Also, it's weird that they skip from Fat Buu all the way to this. Like, they literally skip basically the entire Buu saga. This fight is another scary one. Obviously, Super Buu can wreck you at any point because you're supposed to switch to Vegito. But at the very least, he gets flinched, so it's no biggie. Switching to Vegito heals him to full, actually gives him more health than he starts the fight with, I think. You can do the first story prompt. I may end up doing it if I get low. That one just switches to Vegeta for a bit, which is totally acceptable. That's actually the way that I used to do this fight, just because I like playing as Vegeta more.
Hey, this guy just might be dangerous.
Actually, yeah, that's another This skips a lot. Also, they just kind of skip from Android 19 all the way to Imperfect Cell. It's another gigantic skip. They basically skip like 2 seasons of the anime. This is an example of an AI that doesn't cooperate. He's not really like messing me up or anything, like beating me. He's just not letting me hit him. Piccolo vs. 17 is actually another one of my favorite fights. It sucks that that one gets skipped. I'd say this game would definitely have the best story mode in any like DBZ fighter if it had all these fights, because I really like the story setup with the way that the dialogue and stuff is integrated into the gameplay. But as it stands, Budokai 1 probably still has the best one. Buu Saga in general, like, with the exception of the last fight that we're going to get to, Buu Saga is just like brawl after brawl after brawl. It's pretty relaxing for speedrunning, actually. Because you just kind of go from fight to fight, messing them up.
I think I know why. First thought was because you had something to protect. But having the will to defend something gave you some mysterious power. If that may be true, if that were all, then it would be the same for me now. I was different. I fought for my own enjoyment. I fought only to kill my enemies, for my own pride. But you fight to win, to keep from losing, to test your own limits. That's why you never cared about taking your opponent's life. In the end, you didn't even kill me. It's as if you knew that somehow I'd come to have these human feelings. It's maddening. It's a sailor who loved to fight. It's so kind. And in that Kakarot.
Oh, come on. Tenkaichi 2 has a really good story mode too, yeah. They did some really cool what-if scenarios. I believe that's the game that has the one where Raditz comes back to life and is like a good guy. Tenkaichi Tag Team on the PSP also has really good what-ifs. I think that game is incredibly overlooked. It has almost the same gameplay as Tenkaichi 3, but it has 2v2, which is really cool. This, I talk about a few run killers. This is like the biggest waste of time run killer. Like the run killer that you would least want to have happen in a marathon. This fight, unfortunately, is going to consist of me running away for 5 minutes. It's very sad that it has to be this way, but Buu regenerates health. He takes no damage. Every time you switch to another character, he gets all of his health back. He has the maximum amount of health bars. Just in general, he's about as stacked as any enemy in this game gets. So unfortunately, you just have to run away for 4.5 to 5 minutes and wait for the spirit bomb. The most strategy that goes into this fight is when he gets really close with a dash, you dash into him to do the struggle, and when he's charging, you shoot Kai at him to make him stop. And if he enters max power, you flee for your life because it'll probably one-shot you. This right here is the worst part of the worst fight, or second worst fight. Hercule will actually indisputably die to a planet burst from Boo, I believe. I'm pretty sure it does 3 bars of health with all of Boo's power enhancements. And on top of that, Hercule has no way to defend himself like the other characters do. He can't throw Kai to disrupt Boo.
I think it's time you got a taste of my fist.
All I can really do is chuck rocks and grenades at him. Once he leaves, yeah, when he leaves max power, it's no big deal. He's not going to one-shot me, but if he enters max power, it's really obnoxious. With Vegeta, like I said, I like playing as him a lot, so I usually will actually do things at this point.
You're right. I'm sure that's him.
Although if I take too many hits at the start, then it basically just comes down to this.
That's enough out of you. Why don't you cooperate already?
Was that Hercule? It's Hercule!
This is like he could charge energy right now, and it's really nice that I got out of there. If he did that half a second earlier, it might have been curtains.
Oh yeah. I'm going to defeat Majin Buu. Hurry up and lend me your strength. Well, we got no choice, right? Once I say it like that, they won't trust us. Yeah. Besides, our priority is to defeat Buu.
Should be in the clear now, although
Goku,
just to be safe,
the Dragon Balls to restore your energy.
should probably just run away for a little bit, especially since I got hit by that. Thankfully, Goku actually has pretty good defenses at this point, and he used sleep, that's real nice. Goku won't take too much damage.
No good!
This run alone is probably, or this fight alone is probably a good enough reason to not want to run this game.
I hope you'll come back someday.
See you later. What is Majin?
Hey, I want even my. Let's go.
Go.
Vegeta.
GT Saga is basically just fight after fight of, man, I wish I was Super Saiyan 4 right now. Every single fight involves turning Super Saiyan 4 at one point, but you have to suffer through not being Super Saiyan 4.
able to get you out of Vegeta. He can expel you. Disgusting. I will kill you with my own hand. Just you watch! Man, it's been a long time since I got so excited! He's better than a Super Saiyan 3! Is that it?
This fight is basically the only one where you don't want to turn Super Saiyan 4 because it will lead you to having to do all of the giant ape baby stuff, which is no good. Thankfully, all giant fights are avoided in this run.
This isn't good!
It's not so much that it can miss or not miss, so much as that it fires 20 of them. So even if you only get hit by half of them, you're still going to get hit by some if you're that close. If you're not already like moving when he starts doing it, you're pretty much going to get hit. It's just a really annoying attack that he likes to do, but it's not that bad. It doesn't do a lot of damage. This is the actual worst fight in the game. There is probably no worse fight in any DBZ speedrun than this fight in this game.
You know, my moves. Don't be so sure. See? You weren't ready for that one, were you? Is that it? That's nothing.
Super 17 has more health than you, more attack, more defense, cannot be flinched, regenerates Kai, absorbs energy, will hit you out of your combos, has like the longest throw possible, does a stupid amount of damage, etc., etc. This is an incredibly dumb fight to try and win without Super Saiyan 4, unfortunately. But Super Saiyan 4 doesn't do anything besides make you more powerful. This throw animation is ridiculous. And now because he regenerates Kai, he basically gets a free super that I have to avoid. But if you can make it to this point, then it's all good. But how much damage you can do to him before transforming is incredibly volatile. You could do none, you could do several bars. And it's probably the easiest to die in this fight out of all of them. Oh yeah, he also has a barrier that makes him invincible and lasts longer than any other explosive wave in the game. This fight is kind of like a light version of Super 17. It's actually he has even more armor than Super 17, but you do more damage. It's kind of a weird thing.
There's something very
You get to harken back to the good old days of Raditz where you spam Kamehamehas for a bit,
Where did your
but
negative
at
energy
least you
come
can
from?
go Super Saiyan 4.
When Piccolo regains his youth and power.
Looks like you can do it.
And you can just, you know, armor through your stuff.
This isn't good.
This fight's pretty bad as well.
Is that it? That's nothing. Ah!
Let's get started. As you wish. Not bad. You're the faster one here. So it seems. But I have the advantage when it comes to power. What's this? You don't think we're ready? Prepare yourself.
Probably noticed by now that I am running the Wii version of this game. We ran PS2 when we first started, thinking that there were no differences. Turns out that PS2 has 15-second load screens, while the Wii version has 8-second load screens. In any percent, this means you save about 4.5 minutes, aka the entire Kid Buu fight. And in all stories, you actually save over 8 minutes of time, which is
Power is unbelievable.
ridiculous. So that's where a large cut of the world record came from when we switched.
Dragon Thunder! Can you surpass me? I wonder.
This fight is very reminiscent of Super Buu, where it's you just don't opt for the fusion and instead use Goku and Vegeta. Although I'd say this guy is more dangerous, but you're also more capable.
You're not so weak after all. You can handle it, a Super Saiyan 4?
I have not tried doing that. I don't have that model of PS3. I haven't really thought about buying one that can run PS2 games because I wasn't aware that it runs them any faster. That would be nice on one detail, which is that when you use the classic controller setup on the Wii, you can't fly up or down without dragon dashing, which consumes Kai, or buffering it out of an action. I have no idea why they did that. But it's just because there's not really any more buttons on the PS2 controller. It's just a weird quirk that you can only do it like buffered. So that would be nice for vertical movement. But other than that, I have no issues with the Wii version.
You're not all that after all.
This fight's weird in that you're supposed to wait for the Spirit Bomb, but for some reason Goku can absolutely trash Shenron if he wants to, and if Shenron cooperates. But I do the story prompts anyways, just to be safe, because Shenron can still do a lot of damage.
That's an amazing idea.
Please, King Kai, hurry! It's the only way!
Okay, I'm on it. Hey! East, south, and west side. Listen up, guys.
Where are you looking?
Here's the
Like so. He did an entire bar of health with that combo.
People of the universe! Lend me some of your power! Now, wish for it to rise up into the sky! Huh, you're not all that after all.
Uh-oh. I think he has super armor now, so I need to be really careful because he could kill me otherwise. At least until max power runs out and the buff will go away. That works.
You can't dodge this.
And I guess I got Spirit Bomb.
We fought later than...
Hey! I've been waiting. I want to see the...
This is the last saga. There's probably less than 10 minutes left in the run. I have no idea what the time is at right now. This fight is incredibly volatile. I could lose instantly, I could win instantly. I could be forced to watch an annoying cutscene at the 50-second mark. But it's no big deal. I used to hate this fight with a passion, but I haven't had trouble with it recently.
Not yet.
This might be one of those runs, though.
I cannot lose for the sake of the village.
Yeah. Nam automatically does this attack if you don't kill him fast enough. It just happens, which is a bummer. You could get a ring out instantly if he cooperates.
Jeez, how is that possible?
That Goku is really something! No, it's just dumbfounded!
I can't believe it. No one gets up after that.
I honestly can't tell who ring out there. Okay, cool, he did. It's a pretty annoying fight, but it's whatever. I think Omega Shenron uses up all of the hamminess in the run with his battle lines. His two fights are definitely the most cheesy with his taunts and stuff.
I'll beat you with my bare hands!
Actually, really like Dragon Ball Saga, especially as a closer to the run. Every fight is very straightforward. You just play as Kid Goku, you beat up the bad guy with your own two hands, you know? Very straightforward.
Whatever. Let's get back to fighting.
You also, like, don't do any of the story prompts on any of these fights because they give the enemy health back and stuff. So you're essentially just playing versus mode at this point.
Darn you! I was a fool to hold back on this child.
There's two sagas that get skipped over in this run. They're basically the optional ones that you would do in all stories. One is the special saga, which has the Bardock fight and also most of the DBZ movies. And the other one is the What If saga, which just has like 4 random fights, like Devilman versus Frieza, which are pretty cool, but can be kind of stressful in speedrun. The best part about not having to do Special Saga means that you have to deal with 0 Broly. Broly basically takes everything garbage about Super 17, with the exception of the regenerating Kai. He's not quite as bad as Super 17, but you have to do several Broly fights. So it's one of the big reasons. Also, there's the stupid Garlic Jr. skip, which is the closest thing to a hard skip in this game, where you have to have him at like a very specific amount of health to skip his second form entirely, or it automatically happens. That's why I haven't run all stories in, I don't know, a few years. But I'll go back to it someday because that time is incredibly stale. It still has like my PS2 time on it. This fight has a lot of weird story things that go on if you do all the prompts, where you have to like play as Chi-Chi and fight Tambourine and stuff, and everybody keeps getting healed. Definitely wastes a lot of time. I always look back fondly on that fight though, because I think it was like the first run, like first world record I ever did for this game. I got a perfect on him. And General Blue is the last fight. You can switch to Aurelie in this fight. She's a lot slower and awkward to control, so I never really do it. Goku gets the job done just fine.
That's it?
Time is going to be when the KO pop-up appears when I deplete his health. Probably like 30 seconds from now. Time should be in a couple seconds. And time.
Now don't you go doing any more bad stuff.
Deathless Run is as good as I could hope for from a marathon. This game is so volatile with the AI that I'll take what I can get. 114, it's whatever. I made it with an estimate.
I'm not ready for the world yet.
There were some really bad fights strung throughout. That was like 6.5 minutes off of my record and like 9 minutes off of world record. So it's a bummer, but take it.
But it doesn't look like I've changed much since then. I still want to fight against strong opponents. Anyway, you're awesome. You've come so far. There were many battles, but it looks like this is the end. Let's fight together again one day. Well, see ya!
Since Goku was here, it was fun. Everyone liked Goku. Thank you, Goku.
There's the credits, and that was Dragon Ball Z Budokai.